Something happened on February 3rd this year that sent Thomson Reuters stock down 16% in a single day. LexisNexis had its worst day since 1988, and Above the Law called it the SaaSpocalypse. If you're an attorney and you don't know what happened, this video is for you. Welcome back to part 2 of my ABA TECHSHOW 2026 recap. How did I use AI to prepare for this show? So I didn't just show up to the tech show and wing it. I used AI to prepare before I even got on the plane. Now, one of the things I did is I took screenshots of all the attendees in the app. So I took screenshots and then I put that into Perplexity in the comment browser quite a bit and Claude Cowork, put it into a spreadsheet, and then organize those attendees into different categories. And then based on the other texts and the other contacts that I fed into AI, I knew about my goals and my businesses. I had to locate or identify the people that I should try to meet during the show. It did some research about them. So the different people who it recommended I should meet did some research for me. And then I had it design messages to send to each one of these people. And I messaged them on LinkedIn. So a lot of the outreach I was able to do and prep was possible because of these new legal AI tools. I met several people that I did the outreach to, and I had great conversations with them. So it was nice to connect to people at the show. The other thing that I used it for was to do some marketing campaigns. For my law firm, RELX Law, I have a team that does all of that. And since I wanted to set up some marketing campaigns for Maat Legal, I used Claude Cowork to do a campaign on Meta and then on YouTube as well. Something that I wouldn't have been able to do by myself. With these co-working tools, I was able to give it the permissions that it needed, one thing at a time, give it permissions into my YouTube account and other places. And it told me exactly what I needed to do in order to set up those campaigns. So really cool. Before the show, during it, and after, I was watching a lot of news, a lot of YouTube videos about Claude, watching how people are setting up their Claude co-work stations to be really effective. One of the tasks, a legal case I was working on, first I tried to do one of Claude and having it, using the browser to research a case. But when I went into Cowork, when I uploaded all the files into a Cowork station, it did the task really easily. It did a great job of organizing a lot of data. It's really exciting seeing how different people are using Claude and building things out of it. In 2025, when I attended the show, it felt like a lot of the businesses could be replaced by ChatGPT and the AI tools that we had then. It seemed like a lot of the businesses were just a wrapper around ChatGPT. 2026, the game fundamentally shifted. So February 3rd, Anthropic dropped a legal plugin for Claude Cowork. This had contract review, NDA triage, compliance tracking, legal briefings, all built in. So the reaction happened on the stock market, not in law offices. Thomson Reuters down 16%, RELX the worst day since 1988, and this is what the Above Law called the SaaSpocalypse. So Anthropic went from a model supplier to a direct competitor at the application layer. So they stopped selling the engine and started selling the car. Who got hurt in this? Mainly the legacy data giants and the companies that were just simple wrappers around ChatGPT. So they're now commoditized tools on Claude. Everyone has access to right out of the box. So again, like the startup pitch contest, a lot of these companies, they're having to compete with Claude that can do a lot of those features. And a lot of the software companies on the floor had the same blind spot. They're using the same tech and had blind spots where they didn't understand how attorneys actually practice and what attorneys actually need. Some of the ways I was able to tell that people had no idea about actually practicing law is when they were telling me how AI is going to replace paralegals. And that's when I had to explain that they're running my firm, because of paralegals, that's why I was able to attend that conference. I definitely disagree with that approach. I think paralegals who learn AI will be more valuable in the future. Another take, I think that this industry is going to grow. I think lawyers are going to be needed more than ever because of this technology. When I was first getting into the legal business during college, working at an estate planning law firm. That's when I first started. And back then, 2002, this is when LegalZoom was new on the scene and the internet was still pretty new. Attorneys were getting used to these internet alternatives. The attorneys, they no longer held all the information, so they had to provide service. Basic contracts, basic things, those were now found on the internet. It shifted the game back then. I realized in my career as an estate planning attorney, I couldn't do the same things that these older attorneys were doing back then if I wanted to be in business. As an estate planner, I'm in a service-based business. People have to have a good experience to work with me. That's been one of the main distinctions in my law firm, is that we've been a premium brand. They get to work with people instead of just working with technology. Let's talk about the speakers that impressed me. Some of the speakers, I feel like they're trying to just protect their business. One of my favorites, or some of the best talks, we'll start with Guy Takalakis from Attorney Sync, talked about feeding the AI machine. Great presentation. Another speaker that I really enjoyed was Matthew Kurbis. I went to 2 of his sessions. I say the best talk at the presentation, hands down, Sean Harrington from the ASU Law School, and he runs their AI and legal tech studio. One of my takeaways from his speech was that these new AI reasoning models are different from the prediction models before. It's more important to give them a better prompt. Those 3 speakers did something most people at the conference didn't. They shared everything. No gatekeeping, no trying to make it sound harder than it is so you'd hire them. And the way I used AI to prepare for this conference, that's exactly the kind of thing they were talking about. The tools are here, you just have to use them. Part 3 is where it gets real. What I didn't like about the conference, the best thing that happened to me there, and a prediction about where the industry is headed. That one drops next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm Riley Stana. This is Maat Legal.